Okay, last week I was at on Sunday actually, I was at the auction preview, and George Miller was describing one of the items, which is a week at the Puzzle Castle in Italy, and he said that they actually had a collection of collections of collections there. Gee, that's just like my talk title, but I had already submitted my talk title. So what I was planning to do was talk about a collection of topics about the collection, which is size 15, of books that are collections of the columns, in mathematical games columns. So the first step was to collect them all. And I already own most of them, where most means 8 out of 15. And I asked my connections if I could borrow some. Right away, a friend gave me, she's buying the new ones as they come out, and she gave me 1, 2, and 3. And I had 1, 2, and 4, but I didn't have 3. And other people contributed. I had to get some by interlibrary loan, which I didn't have privileges for at the university, so I asked my professor friends in math and physics, and they all said, a book, a library? No, I only go online. So I had to go all the way to social science connections to get that. But eventually, this whole process of emailing and finding them took almost a month, so I didn't have the whole collection until just a few days ago, except actually, to correct that, it didn't end a few days ago, because it turned out my friend who had said she was giving me 1, 2, and 3 was really giving me 1, 2, and 4, all of which I already had, so I didn't have 3. I hadn't realized, without opening it, you might not realize that those are the same books. Hard to tell. Can't judge a book by its cover, right? So this is a collection on my dining room table of 14 of the 15 books with a gap at number 3. And now for a digression. In the Hebrew Bible, we all agree that there are 613 commandments. What we don't agree on is what exactly those 613 commandments are. Even the top 10, there's kind of an argument about the line, where's the line between the first couple of them? So why should Martin Gardner's utterances be any different from God's in this respect? There is disagreement about what the 15 are, what order they are. So this version, the numbering that I'm using in this talk, is the version being used by the MAA Cambridge series that is coming out now. Only the first 14 have come out, but they have listed all 15 of them in each of those 4 volumes. And they're all of this form, X, Y, and Z, Martin Gardner's mathematical W, where X, Y, and Z are keywords from 3 columns, and W is the keyword from the original version of the book. So for example, there's the Mathematical Carnival, a nice short name, book number 6 there. And if you go back here, you see it's now Sprites, Hypercubes, and Superellipses, Martin Gardner's Mathematical Carnival. So they're all like that, except for some slight deviations that I've marked in maroon. So these are the early titles, and I've just picked a keyword so I could refer to them in the future just by one word. So as you can see, book number 5 is called the sixth book, right? Okay, as I said, there was disagreement, but the reason for this is that book number 4 was all the Dr. Matrix columns, but then there were many more Dr. Matrix columns that followed, so it was republished in 1985 with all of them. And some people say that's just an enhancement, other people say that's a whole different book, so that's one of the differences in the numbering system. Why book number 9 precedes book number 10 when it followed it, that is a mystery I cannot answer. I was planning to do a bunch of things like take the words from like the first words in each book and make a sentence and do stuff like that, but since I didn't have them all, I didn't do that. But I did collect these dedications. So these are the 15 dedications. In purple are dedications to mathematicians. Number 1 is to his high school teacher. Then came John and Don and Ron, and then he had to go to non-rhyming mathematicians that followed. The orangey ones are family. The previous speaker is number 7. And number 3 is a little bit interesting. If you look on Google Translate, you will find out that evoli met, I'm pronouncing it wrong, means evolve with in Dutch. And emetero mena, which I'm also pronouncing wrong, in an African language, Shona, means dental tax. You might wonder, what is this about? But if you just read it backwards, you'll see that it's a dedication to his wife. So since I don't have much to say, I expect to get a couple of dollars. Thank you.